Welcome to South of King's Landing, the Explosion Network's Game of Thrones Aftershow, where we talk each and every week about this week's episode of Game of Thrones. We discuss everything that's been happening, trials, tribulations, theories, speculation, things that are being confirmed, fan theories coming true, all sorts of crazy shit happening in Game of Thrones this week. This week's episode's title was the one I put on the thing last week, Ash, and then I'm gonna get the title of this week's episode right. What was it called? I've wrote it. Eastwatch, thank you. But it's one word, not two words. And then it comes up with a little red line and says, Microsoft Word says that's not a word. And I said, you don't exist in Westeros, Microsoft. Get out of here. First thing I want to jump into this week's episode is I have a big problem. Now, this episode, probably it's my favorite episode of the season. However, I will start with my main negative of the week, which is that the episode just starts with Jaime getting pulled out of the fucking water. And as soon as the episode started, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? We spent last week talking, and I was like, well, he may drown. Like, he either has to figure out how to get out of his armor, or he's going to drown because the weight of the armor is going to drag him out. Bronn somehow turns into fucking Hercules, carries someone out of water all this heavy armor, and just drags him out of water. I'm going to say, no. Yeah. That is unrealistic. I know it's dragons and all sorts of stuff, but I was just like,
there's still physics and stuff in there.
Physics, yeah, just come on. Like, come on, guys. He just drags him out in all that armor and stuff. That is not a thing.
Yeah, it was disappointing. I mean, it's good. I'm happy that Jaime didn't die, but it was sort of a real... I mean, they could have even, like, dragged it out a little bit longer, given us a couple of scenes of other players thinking, oh god, we might be dying, or done the
struggle for him to carry him out of the water or something,
or even done they could have done like the Tarly's scene, which I'm sure we'll get to first, and been like, oh wow, maybe Jaime is dead. They're not cutting to that, like, and then showed him getting pulled out of the water. I just found it was a real
because it was a cliffhanger. Yeah, I don't like in TV shows where they do cliffhangers. And then they just kind of they start the episode. It's like, oh, that's over.
Yeah.
Like, so it was like such an easy solution to a cliffhanger. I hate when I really hate when TV shows do it as season finales with cliffhangers that are wrapped up in 2 seconds at the start of the next season.
It reminded me. Did anyone ever watch Entourage?
No.
It reminded me. It was an episode in the last season where a character kills himself at the end of an episode. Spoilers for. No one important, and it was sort of like, oh my, wow, this is going to be like massive for the next episode, and it was almost, they just glazed over it, and it was sort of the same feeling. It was like such a big event, like the ending of that episode last week was so, like, the magnitude of that was like, oh my god, like, what's going to happen? The lead up to it, you're like, this is the moment, this is the first time they're going to kill someone this series, and then it didn't, he escapes it, but then he's in the water, and it's like, what's going to happen there? And then it was almost just like, there was nothing. There was no payoff.
They made up for it by having Bronn about 2 minutes later say the line, "Listen, you cunt," which kind of cheered me up just hearing him say that. Yeah, I appreciate a good cunt line on a TV show, which gives me permission to say cunt on the episode if they say it in the show. So got him. That was my rule for the American Gods show as well. I was like, they said it on the show, so fuck it. We're talking about it. Alright, so they cut to. In the same area, we then go to Tyrion's side of events. It's kind of like a weird scene for him, I guess. He's kind of like walking through the fields and stuff like that. And I'm sure he's happy. He's kind of, you'd assume he's happy that they won, but at the same time, you can see him looking around as, it is a loss of his people. It's the Lannisters. Yeah, it's his house. He's looking at his house just basically getting destroyed. So, kind of a mixed balance of emotions happening for him there, I'm sure. And then he walks over to we're about to get to the whole Tarly stuff, of course, is because he walks over to find Dany, has one of the best good wallpaper shots of the episode was just the shot from afar behind all the soldiers with the dragon sitting on the rock was fucking awesome. Yes, that was like amazing. I was like, if you freeze that is an amazing wallpaper picture. Because you got last week's dragon flying across the screen was the best shot of that episode. I think the best dragon shot is just that first one where it's just sitting on the rock there. So this scene's whole interesting. Of course, it's about you've got Dany kind of just officially making her, drawing the line for the kind of person she's going to be in this war, I guess. She has all these people there. She says you can either die or join me. Join or die, basically. No, there's no other option. And then a lot of people go down very quickly. A lot of people wait until the dragon roars and they bend the knee very quickly. And then you've got, I don't know the first name, but you got Tyler, the main dude. Sure.
And Dickon.
Correct. And Dickon. And they're two of a couple characters that refuse to bend the knee. And of course, Danny points out him straight away because I don't know. I presume she's like, "Old dude must be the leader of that. Must be someone popular or something here, or maybe he's got a badge on or something like that." And Tyrion tries to help her out, try to make things a bit more proper, and tries to suggest that sending him to the wall to take the black, which he very quickly points out, you can't do that because you're actually not in charge of me at all, so you can't even send me to the wall.
Yeah.
It very quickly becomes a non-option. Tyrion then suggests just locking him up for a while. Tyrion's very much trying to help Danny not become
her father
as ruthless or go down a road, but he was quite happy for her to go. Well, I don't know, not quite happy, but he was fine with her going in there and doing what they did to a point. But this is kind of where he was drawing the line, I guess. But but now we do get to see the type of ruler person she's going to be for this war, and it's very much do or die, because Dickon and Mr. Tarly both get turned to fucking toast only moments later.
I thought it was a weird sort of that they picked these guys as the first real characters to kill this season. I thought Dickon was going to do more. Yeah,
so
did I. They sort of built him up to be some sort of... I guess they did that because they tried to make us care that they were going to kill someone. It's very much... I feel like they've gotten to a point in the series where they're like, okay, the start of the season, the series, the first few seasons, there's so many characters and there's so many people you get attached to that they start... they just killed them off willy-nilly and they had a real big impact. Now they're at the point, they're like, we're at the pointy end. We can't really kill off this character. We kind of need them for this next bit. Let's make people care about these two and let's kill them. It almost felt like a bit of a consolation prize killing that we better give them something because we haven't really killed anyone off yet. That's sort of the way it came across, which was a bit weird.
I think it was just, I don't think it mattered the characters were. I mean, it plays into a scene later, of course, to do with Sam and stuff like that, so it kind of impacts his life side of events. But it was just, it could have been any other house. It could have been a random house we'd never fucking heard about, but the point was just to show that Danny is drawing the line. It's just going to kill people. I felt like
that was supposed to have, it was supposed to have more impact, that killing, than it did. It was sort of okay, they died.
Well, I suppose it depends how you look at it. If you're I know some people probably... Yeah, I suppose if you're watching it and you're like, that's the right decision. She should just be, it's a war. She wants to win. Join me or die is the right decision. Or you could be watching it going, I'm on Tyrion's side. That's too far. She shouldn't be going that far. So, I mean, if you're on her side, if you're in the same path, then I suppose the scene has no impact for you. It has more impact for people who are emotionally against her decision, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we go to King's Landing after this. Jamie finally rushes back in after he gets there within the blink of an eye. So I'm not talking about this fucking fast travel shit every episode. We're over it. He makes his way back to Cersei. Cersei's like, how many people did we lose? He's like, we're still kind of counting. We can't count. So he doesn't say it, but it's like, we can't count some of them because they're basically charcoal. So that's unfortunate. Cersei's kind of just like, well, we've got money now, so we'll just buy mercenaries. She seems very confident,
yeah.
She is so far up her own ass that I don't think she can smell what's going on.
She's almost to the point of delusion now, where she's sort of...
Yeah, she's the mad queen. I keep saying every week. She is so... just because she's not ranting crazy, as soon as the first episode, I think it was the first episode, where she's like, I don't need to talk about the death of my kid, and all that sort of stuff. It's just like, you are just so, far gone that you are literally the mad queen. We finally get to fight and then the big scene, the big moment here isn't really them talking about that. It's Jamie basically just being like, we can't win. That was one dragon. She's got 3 of them. The Dothraki are fucked up warriors. They'll kill any random mercenaries we buy as easy as pie. But the bigger moment was Jamie finally revealing the news he found out the previous episode that it wasn't Tyrion that killed the Joffrey bastard. It was it Aubrey? How do you... Alina, how do you say her name? Which Cersei, of course, is kind of like, no, no, it definitely was Tyrion. And Jaime's like, no, fucking just listen. Wasn't him. We fucked up. And then of course, Cersei kind of regrets the way that she died. I bet you she would have fucked her up more than she's fucking up. What's her face in the dungeons at the moment, watching someone turn to bone. So yeah, Sansa's death would have been a lot worse. I suppose I didn't really care much for the scene. I was like, I suppose it's nice to see her reaction to that, but it's like, so far, it seems so long ago. It doesn't really matter at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think. But and then after that we go to Jon, still over chilling in, I can't remember the name of that place, but the
Dragonstone.
Now this is probably, no, there's a smaller scene afterwards that not everyone picked up on. That's a bigger scene for the show, but this is probably the most epic scene, I thought. Just having Dany ride in on the dragon, Jon's there, and then this whole several minute scene of him petting it was quite subtle about a lot of like foreshadowing what we find out towards the end of the episode.
There's a lot of sexual tension for two people who are related. You don't? Come on.
Everyone online keeps being like, oh,
turn it up as if you don't.
Like, I mean, no, I don't. Because she could just be looking at him like, this is an interesting guy. He can touch my dragons. I like him. Why does it have to be like they need to fuck? You're joking, aren't you? No. No sexual tension.
Are you serious? None.
I'm serious.
Oh. You cut it with a knife.
I don't see it. I'm also a virgin, so...
Yeah, you wouldn't... Yeah. You gotta have experienced it before you can say
before you can see it on TV shows. Yeah. Do you reckon that when he's petting her dragon, she's like, meow meow?
Yeah, because there's the scene later on. There's a scene later on when he's like, I'm leaving or whatever, and you could see her bloody getting all bloody moist. She starts firming up. She's like, oh no, don't leave me. When he starts giving that real like speech.
Are you watching the actual episode, like the porn versions later?
She wants the Jon Snow.
She wants the Jon Snow. So great sexual tension. You can pick for yourself aside and all that sort of stuff. Really great scene. I thought it was kind of an emotional scene, not a sexual tension scene. I was taking it more of a weird emotional scene, more so on Jon's side of the like just touching the dragon and his like. And then Jorah shows up and I'm like,
he's there for 2 seconds and he's like, catch you later.
Oh, hi Jorah. Welcome back to the show. I mean, I don't hate Jorah, but I'm just like,
yeah,
it's so funny. Like his line when he walks in, he's like, Khaleesi, I am back here to serve you. I love you so much. I wrote a letter. It said how much I love you. I love you, my Khaleesi. I was like, oh god, Jorah. Yeah. Over in the north, we get a quick scene with a Bran who's controlling a bunch of ravens and warging. I was about to say warfing, and I'm like, that's not the word. I was going to say anamorphing. I was just going, anamorph. What a great TV show. Side note, was possession notice, and we get our first shot of the White Walkers, which we haven't seen since episode 1. Where are they up to? Not very fucking far, as if we're going off, unless those ravens jump through a black hole and fast traveled like we know they do in these shows these days to travel ladders, then they're not very far over the wall at all, and they're getting very, very close to getting to the wall, which of course is going to be an issue next week because they're not going to take long to find them. They're not going to take long to find them, I don't think. Over in Sam. Now I'm going to just cover both Sam segments in one go here because I don't think it's set him in. We might as well just talk about it. So the first scene he have is he's in the room with the maesters, and they're just all going through ladders and all sorts of bob shit. They get Bran's ladder because that was everything Bran's like. The White Walkers are there, send out ravens to everyone and say they're getting really close to the wall. The Maester's like, a bunch of bullshit. Still bullshit. Don't believe it. Wives' tales. It's hogs wash. Whatever they are. They're
know-it-alls. They think they know it all.
They're fucking hopeless. Yeah. They're like, I know, look here, little Sam Tarly, we don't listen to your bullshit. I like how Sam's getting so shitty towards him, and he finally spits it later on, of course. But like especially in this scene, you can just see him kind of like, I want to fucking backhand a motherfucker in a minute if they don't believe me about these damn White Walkers. After all this shit, you dumb old fucks. But he kind of just storms out of the room eventually, and then they have the awkward scene where then one of the other maces turns to the main one's like, is that the guy who had his family just burnt to a crisp? And he's like, yeah, haven't had the heart to tell him yet. Good kid, though. I was like, what a fucking prick.
Yeah.
Like, what a dick.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
They kind of suck, those guys.
The second part of Sam's thing was him basically spinning it. When he finally decides, fuck it. He's sitting around... He's talking to... What's her name? What's the girl's name, Ash? You know every character's name? I can't remember. Oh, I know. The girl
Tilly.
from Skins.
Is it Tilly?
Tilly sounds about right. Sure. From Skins. She's looking for a bunch of parchment and stuff like this, and she finds a random piece somewhere. I don't know why they're looking for. I don't know what they're looking for, because they've kind of found what they need already.
He's just looking for more White Walker, like...
Okay, he's just... Yeah. Okay, they're just kind of still looking for the shits and giggles of it. And she basically just finds something that confirms that John's... What is Leanna? So it basically says that she was unmarried and then remarried before...
No. So Rhaegar... Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then married her, which means that John is not a bastard.
Correct. He's a Targaryen, full-blooded. Well, not full-blooded, but he's a full...
He's a legit Targaryen.
Yeah, he's not a bastard.
Now, they didn't make... The thing about this scene is that they kind of say it as a throwaway line, but it is huge information, and they brush over it, I suppose.
I think the whole point was to throw it there and Sam not to pay any attention to it, and then they move along, and so, like...
Yeah. But the audience is supposed to... the audience is supposed to pick it up. So it does...
Because I picked it up straight when it happened. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, if you don't understand what it means, it basically means that John is technically now the rightful heir above Dany.
Yeah, so, because was he born... Well, that's the other thing. I'm trying to get my head around that. People are saying that he's the rightful... Because she is still the Mad King's daughter, and he was the king.
The male part is a big...
Yeah, so even though she was born first. Even though he's not her... Like... the Mad King's... He's not the Mad King's son. He's the Mad King's son's... Yes, because when the Mad King dies, then the Mad King's son becomes king, and then Rhaegar is the king, and his son is then king if he dies.
Well, he's her cousin.
Yes. So Rhaegar is the Mad King's son. Daenerys is the Mad King... No, yes.
Yes.
So Rhaegar and Daenerys are brother and sister. Rhaegar is Jon Snow's dad. Yes. Then he is the rightful heir because he was the older brother. Correct.
Yes.
That's good. Good information.
Family trees on the Game of Thrones session.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's right. I googled it before.
I believe it is right.
I Wikipedia.
Either way, I'm pretty sure it works out that he is her cousin, but I think it basically plays out that he's... The big part is that he's a male. I think that's like the big part of it, because they basically just want kings. The fact that Cersei's a queen, everyone else is there. It's like she never took the place because she had the sons. Like you got all these damn little kids on the throne. So
there's a few people with claim to it now. Two of them are hanging out together.
Then Sam grabs up his scrolls and fucks off. He said, "I've had enough of this shit." Basically, so Dany into Tyrion scene, basically. We got their big plan is now to face the White Walkers because they believe they get the letter from Bran. And they're like, they're coming, they're right here. All of a sudden, Daddy's kind of changed their mind on the matter. And it's like, fuck, maybe I don't have time to do this battle for the crown right now. Got to kind of handle these fucking White Walkers first. And kind of like, well, maybe we try and get Cersei to help. And everyone's... Okay, that's an interesting idea to chuck on the table. We've been trying to kill her for the last however long the period of time is, but 4 episodes, it could have been over the period of 2 years for all we know. But sure, let's just try and get her help now. That's fine. And their big plan is to sneak Tyrion into King's Landing to speak to Jaime, who will then be able to speak to Cersei. And part B is to have Jon, who
capture a fucking White Walker.
Capture a White Walker to bring back to finally have as proof for people.
It's like they all just went like super dumb.
It's...
What are the most illogical things we can do? Let's do those.
I mean, I understand Tyrion's plan. Like, it's dangerous, but he's like, maybe Jaime might listen to me and he might be able to get.
It's like catching the White Walker.
But it's not like they're random Pokemon. You're not going to find one in a bush. Like, they're all a huge group. Like, this puts a net over it. Like, stay, boy. It's made out of dragon's glass.
Oh, God.
It's a dragon's glass nest. Before we get to Tyrion and his reunion, we do get a scene over with Sansa, who basically... Well, Sansa and Arya get into an argument, which sets up Arya's scene a bit later in the episode.
Arya's really mean. It's like, you little bitch.
No, she's completely on board. Because Sansa doesn't stick up for Jon. That's the whole point.
She's trying to be...
All her men are back talking shit on Jon, who Jon's out doing hard work trying to save
She's
the fucking
being
world.
Diplomatic. She's being a good leader.
I'm on Arya's side. She was like, you should have stuck up for fucking Jon more. Don't let... he's our king, A, and B, he's our family. So you need to not let our people talk shit in front of you about Jon. I'm 100% on board. Arya was making the right call there. So we get to the Tyrion scene. He magically gets snuck in from Dragon's Keep to under King's
That was
Landing.
cool. I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Gets,
that like little. I knew that they would like. Obviously, he was going there, but I didn't think it was going to be Bronn that was going to be like
Bronn, the one that helps. Well, Bronn and Tyrion were like.
Yeah, they were boys, weren't they?
For ages, so it made you kind of forget because he's been with
he's been
Jaime for so long now. But you're like, I forgot until I was like, oh wait. No, they used to be like, they were pals.
Yeah, they were boys in like season 1.
Together,
yeah.
So, they had a lot of time together. He used it for the trial by combat in the keep thing.
In the Vale, wasn't
successful one, yeah. Yeah, the Vale, yeah. So, yeah, you kind of forget these things that happened ages ago. But it's like, yeah, that makes sense. He would help him out, I guess. I thought this scene was going to go the opposite. I presume Jaime would just kind of spit at time to get fucked and like chase him out of the place and you'd have to escape.
Jaime's too good. Jaime's too good.
Apparently, but I mean, it's they talk for ages. They hit on a scene that I wanted to go for longer. There was that split second where they start getting into like the daddy talk and stuff and being like, he always hated me because like the way I'm born, like the way I look because of my blood. I thought it was going to finally get like a proper like Jaime Tyrion like emotional scene about like family and life and like everything that's been happening, but that's just kind of cut short. And like, what do you want then? I need your help.
I think and that's like you can tell the
rushing the scene.
More so with Jaime, like he's so conflicted with that like to Cersei he defends Tyrion like vehemently, and then to Tyrion he's like, you little fuck, you killed my dad. He wants to, he wants to hate him at the same time he can't. It's actually quite interesting to watch how he is when he goes back to Cersei and he is absolutely. You can see he's just torn.
He's one of
everywhere.
the best characters on the show at the moment.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I have a feeling that they're going to kill him.
Oh yeah, he's going to die.
Which is going to suck. I honestly thought last week. I thought that was it. I was like, holy fuck, this is the moment where they kill someone important.
I would have been fine if he died there, because I don't need big epic deaths for every character.
No,
I think if he just died like that, it would have been like, I suppose like he just goes out.
That would have
been
like, it was almost like it was a Jon Snow death moment. It was like, we're gonna kill him, but just kidding. Like, we're not.
Yeah.
So it would have been like, I was like, it was that kind of, it was almost that red wedding sort of moment where, you know, this is gonna be like, this is an epic moment, but at the same time you're so like upset to lose that character, and then the tackle at the end, and you're like, kind of cool, but you kind of like could have just burnt the fucker. Like that would have been an awesome like to end on that. Like he goes into the flames and he's just fucking gone. And I thought they were going to do it, but they didn't do it. Anyway, nevertheless,
So Jaime agrees that he's going to basically get Cersei to try and help, and then we cut to in the city. You got Davos. He's like, might do a bit of shopping, mate. Might do a bit of shopping while you're off handling your brother or whatever you're doing. Bumps into the internet went crazy, of course, because it's been something everyone's been asking for. Gendry.
I'd completely forgotten about this character. The
internet hadn't.
You came to get me. You want me to come with you?
I think you'll need to understand.
I'm ready. Yeah. Let's go. You should know what you're heading into.
Do you think I've been thinking about with every swing of the hammer? How happy I am making weapons for the family that killed my father. Family that tried to kill me. I've been getting ready. Never knew what for, but I've always known I'd know it when it comes.
You might want to bring one of those swords.
I don't know much about swinging swords. But this I know.
The internet's the million articles, the fucking forums that are like, where is Gendry? Is Gendry back? Gendry's in Winterfell. Gendry's at the wall. Gendry's doing this. It's like, I never understood it because I was like, yeah, Gendry wrote his way to the office, like to Bravos or wherever. I was like, why does everyone care so much about fucking Gendry? Like, he was Baratheon's bastard son. Like, I don't know why he needed to come back. It makes more sense now, I suppose. I was like reading an article before, people were like, well, with Stannis dead and all this sort of stuff, like he's technically like the last, well, not technically, he's like the last remaining lineage of the Baratheons. And I'm like, good point. And he when Davos runs into him, he does a bit of talking, and he makes it very obvious that he does like a Ezra Miller flash moment, which is really cool, because it's like, do you want to come help me? Come to it. He's like, yep, cool, let's go. Like,
yeah. Yeah, that was good. I like it. They're like, he's like, this is going to be a hard decision. He's like, let's fucking do it. Grabs his big hammer and he's like, do it.
He's like, I've got it out for the Lannisters. I want to fucking kill them. Which makes sense because they murdered his daddy, even though he didn't have.
And they tried to kill him. Yeah,
he didn't have a big moment. All of his brothers and sisters and everything like that. And I never noticed it during the episode, but HBO put out like still photos afterwards, and there was articles up about it. But on his hammer, he's got like the Baratheon symbol engraved into it.
Oh, cool. The goat or whatever it is, the deer.
Yeah, which looks really cool when you can look at like a high-res photo and zoom in and something like that. It's a fucking awesome hammer, which he uses quite well in just a little bit. This scene was great. Like, I was like, as soon as I saw him, my automatic reaction was like, oh, I bet you the internet's happy. Like, why do I care, though? But then between his funny, like, all right, let's go line, and, like, kind of chatting. And then when we get down to the boat finally, and Davos does a lot of cool stuff here. But then the part eventually at the end where he just fucking slobbers those two guards across the face. I was like, you know what, Gendry?
You're right.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. You can kill him.
It's, I liked his moment with Jon Snow later on when he's like, he said exactly who he was.
Yeah, he just says it straight.
Davos is like, keep that to yourself. He's like, I'm Stannis Baratheon's son. He's like, well, fuck. I mean, Robert Baratheon's son.
I mean, I like the actor and everything that he's in. So I'm fine to have him back on the show. I guess.
It was a cool moment.
Davos, I want to point out that Davos was my favorite part of when he takes him down to the boat, simply because it's the first time we've seen Davos being Davos.
The smuggler.
The smuggler. The entire time we've known that character, he's always been the right-hand man to Stannis, to, Jon now, like whatever the hell else is going on, all this other stuff. We've never got to see him just doing what they've always talked about, him being this huge, great smuggler. And he's fast talking, like, how many coins is it, lads? Blah, 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 like pulling the thing over to reveal the food and all. You can tell he's like done it a million times, and he's kind of just rolling through his mechanics of how he tackles the situation. I thought that was really cool to finally see him doing that. And I thought it was a really great scene for that character, because I really like Davos. Great character. It was good to finally get some more stuff on that.
Definitely.
So they go to Cersei. Well, we can talk. I don't think it's there. Tyrion comes back. They nearly spot him. Hammer kills Cersei. It was hammer time. Cersei's kind of just all smug to Jaime. Jaime's like, fucking White Walkers and all. He starts to talk about it, and she's like, you really think anything could happen in the city without me knowing? And then he's like, dun dun dun, you knew all along? Whoa. She's like, oh yeah, nothing happens in this city without me knowing. Whoa, whoa, fucking God. And then she basically is just like, well, I think we go along with the plan, because if we get close to her, we can try and help her out. And then she basically just says, we can backstab her at some point, or something like that is what it sounds like to me. She wasn't like, let's help her because I believe in the cause and these White Walkers. She doesn't even seem confident that this problem is a real thing. She's kind of just like, we are fucked. I kind of believe you. We can't win the war the way normal battles and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll agree to help her, and then we'll fucking stab her in her back, or at some point. That's kind of how it came across to me, is that's her plan now, to agree and then fuck. But if she fucks if she agrees, goes to help, and then attempts to fuck Danny over while they're relying on her to be helping to fight the White Walkers, then she could just basically fuck everyone up, I guess.
Yeah,
is the problem.
It leaves something really cool on the table for when that happens. I'm looking forward to it.
When her big reveal of turn of events or whatever she goes to do is so they go back to John. Yes. Oh yeah, the fuck. Yeah. I don't care. She's not going to have the kid. She's gonna.
Why are you gonna hate on Cersei all the time? I don't understand.
I fucking hate Cersei. I just wanted to die.
She's a better character than Arya.
Not this season.
She's a much better character than Arya.
This season, I'm just like, you're at the end of your line, Cersei. We're just waiting for you to die. Like that's she's not going anywhere. So here's what's how it's going. She's either just die without having the baby, or B, the other thing I read online that the theory that would be cool, that makes sense, is that she has a miscarriage, and that the miscarriage is like the final breaking point that causes her to go, like, just lose her shit officially. Like, that's it. That was bring it back to her. No, because I was talking about that. Remember, like, when they had that scene a couple seasons ago, the prequel scene thing where she's talking to the witch, and they're like, "Oh, you'll have like 3 kids. They'll all die like this. Blah 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 blah." And then something about wrath, you'll be covered in blood as the Black Hand like swarms out. Something like that. And everyone's like, well, she's not having the kid because she's had her kids. They're all dead. So she's not having this baby. Mm-hmm. If you believe the prophecy, which we kind of do because it was a scene in the show. So it's a prophecy. They come true. Harry Potter taught us everything. So everyone's reading into that as that it'll be a miscarriage that may or may not kill her or something like that, which would be, yeah, it's dark. It's fucked up. It's Game of Thrones though. So it's not out of the box of theories that people could go for. And if it doesn't kill her, I'd still like the idea of that, like her getting her hopes up so much, because like she does love her kids. Like that's something we've grown to know about her, is that she
loves some of her kids.
Yeah, well,
she loved her daughter and she loved Joffrey. She didn't really care for Tommen.
No, little fuck. Apparently not. Anyway, but I do like the idea that like if she did have a miscarriage or something, like that's like just the losing one more kid, or officially turns her to full Mad Queen mode kind of thing like that, and then Jaime kills her. That's what I want. I just want Jaime to kill her, is basically my point. So then we have the scene with Jon and Gendry, which I thought was pretty funny, how Davos is like walking into the cave like, don't say this, don't say this, don't say this. Hi, my name's Vobes Baratheon and nice to meet you, Jon Snow, sir, how are you going? It's like this Gendry guy.
That's a cool moment, yeah.
They then all get into the boats. Jon looks at Dany in a sexual way, I reckon. They're heading back to the...
Dany looks at Jon in a sexual way.
Oh... Look, here's literally here's how different our minds work. Let me read out my note. This is how because I just realized I wrote down a note literally about the way he looks at her, like the look that she gives him. It doesn't read, Dany looks at Jon like she wants to fuck him. It says, here's my notes. Gives coin back from winnings enslaver. Tyrion gives the coin to Jorah. Jon says bye. Dany looks at him like she's still thinking about the dragon thing. Wonder if she'll consider it more.
You're so clueless. You are
That's
so
what
clueless.
My notes say.
Oh my god. You need to get your head out of your ass.
Or into someone's ass is what I think you're trying to say.
Probably. Wow, you've been out of the game too long.
This is really weird. This is Dylan's sex life fucking episode of Game of Thrones. Apparently now.
Yes.
Fuck's sake, guys, leave me alone. So the next scene's the Sam scene, which we kind of already covered, and then it goes to the Arya scene, which is interesting because
cheeky little finger.
She gets fucked over, basically. She thinks she's following Littlefinger around, catching him out doing dealings and swindling and stuff. And it's all a callback to like an episode 2 ago where someone showed, I saw a gif of it and I'm like, fuck, he actually, like this, they plan stuff ahead, which is good in a TV show like this, and you can go back and watch stuff and be like, because there's a scene a couple episodes ago where the Maester dude's like, Maester what's-his-face kept records of all of the scrolls we've ever sent or something like that. And if you go back and look at that episode, you literally see Littlefinger kind of give a, oh wait, what the fuck look? But I never noticed anything of it. Now it makes sense because he spent the entire this episode getting the scroll, swindling and dealings with everyone. And Arya thinks she's being really smart, chasing him around all episode, and eventually catches him putting it into his room. She breaks into his room, finds it. What it is it's from season 1. It is a letter that Cersei forced Sansa to write and send to Rob at the time, saying like, you need to bend the knee. The Lannisters are treating me so well. It's lovely, lovely, lovely here.
Yeah.
However, at the time, I found that scene again. Someone saw it on Twitter or something. Was like, here's the scene. Rob is basically like, really, this is what's going on, something like that. And then the Maester, I can't remember, the original Maester that got killed by Dickless, he's like, it's her handwriting, but it's obviously Cersei's words. And Rob's like, oh, right, well, let's go to war and kill them.
Yeah.
That was like the whole catalyst to that event. However, Littlefinger's got it and hidden it purposely for her to find, basically, to try and cause more of a rupture between the two sisters.
Yeah. See, Arya's being a dickhead. She's getting played.
I mean,
she's getting
being played. She's getting played, which is, I think it's... Talk it out.
You know that's not going to happen.
No, it won't. I did like the shot of, because she leaves the room like, oh, fuck, I've got to take this, and like run straight to Sansa and be like, what the fuck, what is this from? And you get that little shot of Littlefinger like creeping around the corner. Like,
he's such a slimy prick, isn't he? Such a slimy prick.
He is a little bit of a fan. He's very slimy prick is what I would go as far as say. He's going to get...
He's going to be, when he dies, it's going to be satisfying.
Yeah. I wanted it to be Arya. Well, whose mask does she wear when she kills him? Whose face?
Catelyn.
Oh, that would be messed up. All right, so then the last scene is Jon and his merry men, which is Jorah. Who does it else? Is it Gendry? And
Davos.
And Davos are the people he brings. They go from the Dragonstone to
Eastwatch.
To Eastwatch. And they meet up with old mate, I can't remember his name.
The Hound.
Redbeard. Red Torment?
Oh, yeah, sorry,
He's been put in front of, was put in charge of that area by Jon to basically guard it and all sorts of stuff like that. And it just so happens that he's like, we've got some funny little fellas in lockup if you want to have a look at them. And they find the Hound and the Brotherhood Without Banners, or what remains of the Brotherhood Without Banners, I guess, there, which is basically the one-eyed guy and the priest who brings people back to life. So now... They're all like, we were trying to go north of the wall. What are you doing? Trying to go north of the wall. What for? Capture someone. Sounds cool. The Hound's like, I fucking hate everything that's happening in my life these days, guys. Like,
he's such a good character. He's such a good character. He's gotten so much better as every season's gone on. He's fantastic.
I'm disappointed we haven't got much of him. I'm looking forward to next episode for a lot of reasons, but seeing
someone gonna die. Someone's gonna die in that.
I reckon most of them are gonna die. Yeah, well done. That would be fucking...
Yeah, they're bringing back for half an episode.
Yeah. So they all start heading north of the wall. They have this really good shot from behind them, which I shared to all of you lads this morning. This cool meme I found online that was amusing me so much of like they redid like the Magnificent Seven with the whole lot of them. And do you tune off before the preview?
No, I watched it.
You watched it?
Yeah. I wish I didn't, but I did. Oh my god. Oh.
It was a longer preview than I think we usually get.
It was longer than I wanted, yeah.
It was like, next week, guys, shit is going down. Now, it is important to note that shit is going to go down, of course, because they're going to be facing White Walkers. But it, however, is the penultimate episode of the season.
Is it really already?
Which, we're at episode 6 next week. Which, Game of Thrones, we all know... penultimate episode is where
someone dies.
Shit goes down and usually someone big dies. So everything kind of makes sense for the big episode to be.
I wish you hadn't told me that. I didn't realize it was this penultimate.
2 more weeks to go. So yeah,
that's gone so quick.
Quickly, because it is a penultimate episode, I do want to chuck up the question like which big characters do you think is going to die, or which big characters do you think are going to die next week?
I think those Brotherhood dudes are going to be dead.
Fuck, I'm looking forward to that where his sword lights up. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that was sick. I got Kylo Ren vibes at that point. Those dudes will die. I think the Hound will live. And I don't want to think about anyone else in that party. Jamie. I reckon Jamie dies. I don't know how, though.
Jamie.
Don't know
Yeah,
how.
I was about to say, I don't know how, because like they're currently not really. He's not really in a place.
I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think
struggle. I reckon so. North of the Wall. I reckon most episodes going to take place north of the Wall. I wouldn't be surprised if it's an episode that only takes place north of the Wall, and they may or may not cut back, or they just do, or they start the episode with a little bit before the Wall stuff, and then once we cut to John, we stay with him for the rest of the episode. Yeah, which I think that's how they're going to do it, because it's like once the action gets going, you're not cutting away. So open on Danny or Cersei or Jamie, whoever, and get those scenes out of the way for the first 10-15 minutes, and then just cut to John. I reckon that it's easy to say who I don't reckon will die. I reckon the Hounds, John, and Gendry make it out, and everyone else dies.
Oh no, Davos.
Yeah. Oh, Davos is fine. Davos is fine. Yeah. He's fine.
Did
He's
he?
like, he literally says, "I can't come. I'm fucking useless." And then I can't remember who says it to
Who's
him.
the fourth then?
The person's like, "Yeah,
Who's their fourth then?
you're fucked."
Oh, it's Jorah.
Jorah.
Yeah, Jorah will die. Yeah, let him
Yeah,
die.
I reckon Jorah dies.
Yeah.
And the best thing that could happen is that everything we said doesn't happen, and something completely batshit crazy that none of us were expecting happens, which is probably the best outcome. Cersei flies in, and that'd be fucking amazing. I'd love it. And the last question, of course, we're getting towards the end of the season, guys. Who ends up on the throne? Now I'm changing I'm on John, because the family lineage thing. I think it's hard to argue against that at this
We've only
point.
got 2 episodes. How's that possibly going to happen?
I'm just locking in on John
At the end of the season. Are you talking about?
No, it's just in general who ends up on the throne.
Cersei still.
Cersei still, holy
Still
shit.
Cersei.
All right, thanks for tuning in and listening, watching this week's episode of South of King's Landing. That's right, as you just heard a moment ago, we only have 2 episodes left. And as the episodes get longer, I don't know if you guys know, I was like, holy shit, this episode went for like a full hour.
Yeah, I know. It was
The
4 6
episode's
minutes.
getting a lot longer. I think the last 2 are like an hour 10 or something each. And I completely forgot something around that.
Awesome.
They're a bit longer.
Great.
South of King's Landing is also at the same time getting longer, but I suppose that's how
I was going to say
the
it's
gets longer.
it's about an episode length episode. So
It's getting harder. There's a lot happening, a lot to talk about. 2 episodes left. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe, comment, stuff like that. It's all great. It's Game of Thrones. I'm getting hyped up. Who do you think's going to live? Who do you think's going to die? Don't forget to come back here next week. We'll be talking about the penultimate episode. Maybe we'll be crying. Maybe we'll be cheering. Maybe we'll be doing a little bit of both. That'd be great. Jack might cry. I might be cheering. John's dead. I'm like, I don't really care. He's like, oh. Arya's dead. I'm crying. He's like,
I hope
yes,
that the fucking Freys come back and eat Arya.
Fuck off. Fuck it. Thank you for joining us. Bye.